Did you want to go ahead and start? Oh, I see that. So welcome to our Brilliance Team Zoom, and I will apologize in advance if if there's technological difficulties, but we'll do the best we can. So my family and I are traveling across Nebraska, so it's nice and a little boring. And if you've seen cornfields going by on the side, that's what's going on. So I'm excited to talk to everybody. And July has been an interesting month for a lot of people. In the US, it's a lot of holidays and that sort of thing. And so we're just busy. And to be honest, I don't know. In Australia, I know you guys are getting cold. There's just a lot of different things going on. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about just two different things. And I hope that this is good timing for you. One thing that, let me just get this real quick. Sorry. Okay. All right. One thing that I wanted to talk to you just a tiny bit about is something that we haven't discussed for a while, and it has to do with kind of positivity, but also just kind of where's your focus. And I would love to hear from anyone. If you are okay with unmuting and sharing, that would be fantastic. But I can't see you, so you're just going to have to yell. One thing that we used to talk about a lot, and we've done a few times, is mantras, and just kind of what are you telling yourself? How are you staying positive? Because there are things that are going to happen. It's a business. We get tired. Bookings fall through. Maybe somebody that you think is going to buy from you gets really excited and they buy from somebody else. Or somebody does something that they shouldn't do and you lose a customer because of it. And things like that happen. How do you stay positive? I went to a meeting just a couple weeks ago, and it was an energy meeting. And I thought it was so interesting, whether you believe in that kind of thing or not. And I think, there's a spirituality type of an emphasis that you can go for. If you are religious, that's something that you should definitely, pay attention to that. But one of the things they talked about was breathing and just kind of feeling like, she calls it zipping or unzipping yourself, which seems a little bit interesting to me when I heard it the first time. And her idea was that sometimes people looking you up and down can leave you feel discouraged because you feel like they're judging you. And she said, okay, you just go like this, just big breath in and just zip it back up again. And I'd try that just really quick. So just kind of just breathe in and then go and do it with your hands too. Give it just a minute and try it again. So, and I can't tell if you're doing it. I don't honestly know if I believe it, but I do know that I felt a little better when I tried it. Another thing that we had a wonderful speaker at conference a couple years ago. Her name was Dana Wild, and she talked about mantras. And I'd love to hear from anybody if you have something that works really well for you. She talked about how you can tell your brain what to believe about you. And so when you say for instance, you have a bad experience, you have a bad party, and things just do not go well, and you don't connect with people, it's just a rough time. And you go out of there and you are beating yourself up over it. You're just going through going, oh my gosh, I'm awful this. I can't book parties. Nobody ever wants to book with me. I can't get sales. This stuff is just awful. I just can't. She talked about the fact that it's not the bad party that hurts you so much as the fact that you kept telling yourself that you can't do something. And so instead, you can choose what you want your brain to believe about you. You choose where you want to be. So a basic mantra that you can use, something like my business is growing, okay, or business is booming, my life keeps improving. Choosing something positive to say. My daughter's going to be totally embarrassed because I'm going to tell a story about her, and she's behind me in the car. So she was telling me this just a couple of days ago about someone that she decided, sorry, Lexi, decided not to like, and she just kept telling herself she just decided not to like him. She doesn't like him anymore. She doesn't like him anymore. She doesn't like him anymore. And she said, now I don't like him anymore. And she said, maybe there is some truth to that because I kept telling my brain that I don't like him anymore. Well, if we tell ourselves that we are not good at business, we're not good at business, we're not good at business, not good at booking parties, well, your brain starts to believe that. So instead, people like to book with me. I do fun parties. People like to book parties with me. My business is booming. when Dana presented this idea, and there's a lot more information if you go into Brilliance, into the training, there's some recorded information if you want to learn more about this and really delve into it. But she suggested, if you're not really sure whether you believe it or not, give it a try. Just choose one simple mantra, and it needs to be something that does not include any knots. Yeah, okay, Helen, I agree with that 100%. Doesn't include any like knots or buts or anything like that. You want to write out just your simple mantra. So if you don't have one already that you can use, business is booming, my life is improving. And think of a time that you're going to say that. For instance, every time you get a drink of water, you're going to say, before you drink it, you're going to say, business is booming, my life is improving. She challenged us to even set a timer on our phone and say it 6 to 8 times in a day. And after 2 or 3 days, see how we felt. Okay. You're going to have to use chat probably because I can't see you. But I'd love to know, have any of you tried this type of thing? And I know Helen is posting some really good videos. Who else?
I've done some things with it.
Okay.
Hang on one second. I got to shut the door where I'm at. Let me just shut the door really fast.
Okay.
Sorry.
Shannon is saying yes, she has.
I know, yeah. Basically, I have done a lot of study with it, and your own voice is your most believable voice. And so you believe what you say the most. It's your most believable voice. And so I have worked with people, and then I tried it on myself. And basically, whatever your thoughts are, create your mood. So the demonstration really fast that they used that really convinced people of this was if 2 people were standing next to each other talking and another girl walked in the room and the girl who walked in the room started crying and ran out of the room, then what did the girl think? Like she thought, oh, they're talking about me, they didn't invite me, something like that. And then the same situation at a different time, like 2 girls are talking and another girl comes in the room and she goes running over and starts talking with them, really happy. And what did she say? Like neither of the 2 girls that were talking ever responded. So the complete emotion that was created was from what this girl who came into the room said to herself. And so it's a way of, that's like just a quick demonstration of how proving that your thoughts actually create your mood. Like you don't get down without the thoughts of getting you down to begin with. So your thoughts actually do create your mood. And so, yeah, you can actually, I've done a lot of practice with it and helped kids who had problems with it, where you just like interrupt that thought and change it. So as soon as you find yourself saying negative thing, then stop that and reword it or say your mantra.
Exactly. And you get to choose that mantra. And so that's something that you can sit down and say, oh, this is what I want to go, Shannon. Yes.
Yeah, can I comment?
Yes, please.
One of the things that really struck me from that training with Dana was that your mind can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. And so every time you say something to yourself, it's like you did it again. So if you say, I'm not good at parties, or that was a really bad party, if you say that in your head, it's like you had another bad party and another bad party and another bad party every time you say it to yourself. Or anytime you say anything positive to yourself, it's like you got positive action. And so because our mind, it doesn't know where the input is coming from. Like if it's from our visual or from our taste or from our ears or from our imagination, like we're putting the thought there, even though it's not something real. And so it's just so powerful. And I think whether it's in business or in our life or anything, learning to control our thoughts and what we look for is a huge part of improving our business and improving our individual person.
Good. Good. I agree with that completely. When you go into a situation, you have a positive outlook on it. When you first walk in the door, the whole about you, the way that you behave, the way that you talk to people is going to attract other people to you. And when you go into there with just a really negative and worrisome and you're stressed about it, and that's what you recognize because your brain recognizes those as truths. So that is excellent. Thank you so much. Did anyone else have? I know Helen has used quite a bit. We were chatting about that just the other day, and that's actually what made me think we haven't talked about this for a long time. Is there anyone else that has anything they'd like to share there? Okay. All right. I do want to encourage you, if you have not looked at it, or if you'd like more information about it, Alan, I hope that you wouldn't mind. Would you mind sharing those links that you shared to me? Okay, good. Sounds good. Would you mind sharing those links on when we do our takeaways? And then I would also like to ask everyone too, if you have a mantra or have something simple that you'd like to say anything that you do to stay positive and stay focused, just kind of on that, positive, I guess is the best way to go with it, training your brain. Would you mind sharing it in our takeaways? And then, yes, please, the secret, and that's exactly right, Helen, if you wouldn't mind, when we post the takeaways, would you mind sharing those same links that you shared with me? And then the other thing that I wanted to touch on just a teeny tiny bit, and I will actually beg forgiveness from Jody Matthews because I have not asked her permission to share this, but she shared it on the Forever Strong International Day. I saw it was just so good. And I don't know if this is something that she's typed up or just something she's sharing from somewhere else, but I thought it was so fantastic. It's okay. It's a business advice for your business. It really helps with what we're talking about. Just some basic, there's 7 tips here for you in your business. And I think they fit really well with being positive. But the first one that she's sharing here is to be passionate about your products, your company, and your business. Be excited about it. I know we all go through times where sometimes we start to get frustrated or whatever, and then the key is to come back to that excitement. For me, when I am sharing our business, our products, one-on-one, it's like I get excited about their excitement, and it just refuels my fire. It makes me more happy when I tend to just be at home and I just keep sending the same text out and the same messages out, and I don't ever have that new, like, oh, I love these. These are so cool. My nails look so pretty, that type of a thing. And I don't have that a little more. I kind of forget. So being passionate, find what it is that makes you excited again about the product, and make sure that you're building that into your schedule so that you aren't ever at the point that you're, losing that completely. Do you know what I'm saying? So if doing home parties is the thing that builds your excitement, then decide how many home parties have you just got to make sure that you have. I love to do one-on-ones. That's what fuels me and gets me really, really excited. And it's funny that when I start to kind of feel like, oh, I'm tired and, that sort of a feeling, if I do a one-on-one, it brings that right back. I laughed on Saturday. I did a little vendor event, or Tuesday, I guess. And it was not real successful. Didn't have a whole lot of people there, but I ended up helping every other vendor there do their nails. And we did wraps and on everyone. And a lot of these ladies have tried them, but it's been years. And so obviously our products have changed. We joke that, the original wraps were more like duct tape. That's kind of what they felt like. And so a lot of them had not tried them since then. And every single one of them, when they sat down at my table and I just said, come on over and let's do this, they would say something like, oh, my nails are so ugly. My hands are so ugly. Oh, I don't. And then you get them all on them. And we did kind of a combination of lacquers and wraps. Just they couldn't stop looking at their nails. Oh, these are so cool. And they were showing them off. So my sales may not have been terribly successful, but I did get 2 parties out of it from vendors. And they were all excited about their nails. So if that's something that you need to include to stay passionate about your product, is that you need to share one-on-one with someone, you need to do parties with someone, you need to see their success stories, you need to recruit. You know what I'm getting at. Pay attention to that. What makes you the most excited? When do you come home so happy to share with your family, your husband? Make sure that you're including that in your business plan, and that's included as a basic. Okay, get to know your customers is your second tip. Their needs, their interests, what do they need? This goes in with our thing from last week that Liz was sharing. Kind of what do your customers need, and can you provide a solution for them that perhaps is our business opportunity? So, but you can't do that unless you know them. So get to know them. Know your products, your promotions and procedures. So I would say application process. process. You can perfect your application process and make sure that you're 100% comfortable with it. For me, that means I need to actually apply samples to a few people. We don't apply wraps as a general rule, and you're not a nail tech, but you need to know different shapes of nails and what's going to work. And, the different finishes have a different way to apply. Ask questions and let's get this figured out so that you can be the true expert. Make sure you know what the specials are, and make sure you know like when Throwback Thursdays are happening and what are what types of things are going on, how to do a fundraiser. There is so much confidence that you will build in knowing that you know it. I do not memorize the names of all the products in the catalog, but I know how to find them very, very quickly. So there's something, just make sure that you're very comfortable with that. Make sure you understand how our Hostess rewards work, and that you configure them even if you don't have your website open. There's a lot of security that comes in that, and I will include with this, even though it's not really our products, make sure you know your calendar. If you don't really know what your schedule is for the next month, but you know that you want to have 4 parties, you need to know your calendar so that you know when you have time available. How in the world will you ever book parties if you don't know when you've got something available? So include that there. Make it easy for your customers to do business with you. So are you using a blog? Are you using, obviously you have your website, you're using your Facebook page, do you have a VIP group? Do you pass out business cards? Do you put your label on the back of your wrap so people can contact you again? I really like to make sure that all of my customers include me as Jamberry in their phone. They may not remember my name, but they're going to remember Jamberry, and so they can find me again. So make sure that you're accessible. Always be prepared. Oh, vinyl on cars, that's the good one. If that's the type of thing, some people are, like it, some people don't, but kind of think about it. Do you wear Jamberry logo wear? Do you show off Jamberry where you go? Obviously, we love to have samples, but, maybe on your phone and different places like that. Do you use your bag from conference? Make sure that people know that you are the Jamberry girl, and that they know where to find you. Always be prepared. Dressed appropriately, acting appropriately, that sort of thing, so that you are ready to feel like you can do business. I love this one. Spend time every day marketing your Jamberry business. This does not have to take very long. This does not mean you need to work full time in your Jamberry business, but make sure that every day you've done something. Just things out, but make sure that you have done something that reaches out to customers every day, or 5 days a week, however you decide to do that. And number 7, we'll go really quick. Provide value outside of just nail wraps, okay? In your relationships with people, friendships and things like that. This business is all about relationships. So if you aren't making more friends as you go, you're missing out. And honestly, your business will grow better too. So it's not just about the selling, it's about building relationships. And I loved this quote that was at the bottom of the document that Jody shared, and she said, it's from Ray Kroc. He says, if you work just for the money, you'll never make it. But if you love what you're doing and you always put the customer first, success will always be yours. And then I will post, or actually I will ask Jody if she would mind posting this file, or if somebody else can grab it from Forever Strong. I couldn't grab it with my phone. Anyway, and get this into Training to Brilliance too. So we have that. Okay, questions, comments, concerns? What do you feel like you're doing really great with this? Anyone? My husband says this.
Thumbs up. I think that was great.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have just about a week left of July, so let's make that huge. Make sure that you've double checked.
I think we lost her. Oh, there she is.
Oh, sorry.
You're back.
I don't know if it's all going to come apart. So what I was trying to say is July. We've got about a week left of July. Make sure you know where your numbers are. There's still time to have like a mystery hostess, do some marketing and things like that, get some sales, and make great. So any questions, concerns, anything?
I think we're good, and we're starting to lose you. So I think I'm going to save the recording right
All
there.
right. We'll see you later.
Post any questions that you guys have. If you have any more questions or things you want to talk about, go ahead and post it.
Good luck,
Go,
Helen. Our
Helen.
hair consultant. Woohoo.
Sweet.
All right.
And we should mention
Then I apologize. Go ahead.
we should mention that Jared had a shout out. The president of
I know.
Jared had a shout out to Helen. She
That
made
was
his weight. Pretty sweet. Good job.
Helen is so. I looked at her rank app report last night, and I am so proud of you, girl.
Yeah. You're rocking it. Good job. All right.
All right. Hey,
Bye,
it's good
everybody.
to sort of see you, I guess. Hear from you, and I'll see y'all later.
Have fun on your trip.
Give you my
Bye.
Yes, we will. Bye-bye.